to another crafty video. So I'm using this gorgeous Monstera stencil from Simon Says Stamp again, although I think I said this in one of the previous iterations of using this stencil sort of videos already, but I'm kind of showing you with this stencil because I love this stencil, but you can use any of these techniques with any of your stencils from your stash, so don't think you have to have a leaf stencil to be able to do this technique. You can do them with any of your stencils, any of your pattern stencils. I've done it in the past as well. I've used this technique a few times over the years in sped up videos as well, so I'm sure you can find one or two of them, or I'll try and find a couple and link them at the end of the video on the little end screen. But this video is using the main stencil from the Monstera leaf set, and I was actually using my magnetic crafters platform from Tonic to help sort of like hold it down as well, and also if you spray the back of your cardstock first, it's going to help it hold down while we're working with wet things on the top of the card as well. And then for this I was using pigment powders, so you can kind of use any of the ones that you have, whether it's Brushos, whether it is Pixie Powders, Pixie Sparkles, Pixie Bursts, or I went for a really old one that I've had in my stash for literally years. These are the Ken Oliver. I thought they were called Colour Bursts, but I can't actually see that name on here at all, but they're the Ken Oliver ones, and this one's called Chartreuse, which is a really gorgeous, bright, vibrant lime sort of green. And then I also combined it with, because I wanted a flat colour for the most of it, I could have gone with the Pixie Burst, but I decided to go with this one. And then to bring in shine and shimmer to it, I used the Nuvo shimmer powders. So I used Falling Leaves and Green Parade from the Nuvo shimmer powders, just to add a little bit of extra sparkle to the leaf as well, but mostly using this one and then little hints of this one. And to do this technique, what you do is you spray the back of your card with water first, because it's going to help when you add water to the front of the card, it's going to help sort of keep it flatter with your stencil on top of there. I did use the magnetic crafters platform to hold my stencil down, but that's not always necessary. I just felt like I wanted to use it, so I did. And then once your stencil is in place, you spray with water, but you want to use a fine spray bottle. Don't use one like this that's a continuous spray. Use one of these smaller, like mini mister kind of style ones that gives a really fine droplet, and that you can control it with, you know, like a single spray at a time rather than a continuous spray. Spray over the whole area, and then you can tap your powders in, and you want to kind of make sure that you've got all the way to the edges, and then if you feel like there's just bits of powder there and it hasn't been activated with water, you can spray a bit more water, but don't go too heavy with the water because it will blend or like bleed under the stencil and you'll get a blobby kind of effect. Not that it really matters with a leaf, because as I showed in one of the previous videos, you know, Monstera leaves can have different holes in different places, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And even with a background, it doesn't have to be perfect, because you can put something over to hide where a blobby bit kind of happened. But yeah, go with your sort of non-shimmery colour first, all over it, and then kind of add in little taps of your shimmery kind of colours on there. Make sure all of the pigment is kind of activated while it's all still wet. Lift off the stencil, being careful not to like nudge it or move it or anything. You can also use the powder and water and everything that's left on the stencil to create another impression. I didn't in this video, but you definitely can do that as well. And then you just want to let it dry. You can use your heat tool as well, just be careful not to chase drips outside of the pattern, but you definitely can use the heat tool as well. And then you just let it dry to give the natural kind of movement that all of those sort of pigment powders give you. And then for this one, I did actually cut it out. You can actually buy a die that coordinates with this stencil. I didn't get it in the end, but you can buy one. I'm not sure if it gives you a white border like this or if it cuts right up to the stencil detail, but it's not too difficult to cut out actually. It was quite easy to trim around this, and because it had gone a bit blobby in places, maybe it is better to fussy cut it, because then you can kind of not cut in where places have kind of joined themselves together as well. And then to finish the card off, I stuck the leaf onto a white card blank, and I did 2 layers of foam tape down the middle and 1 layer down the edges, so it's kind of got a little bit of extra dimension dimension to it, I used a couple of different wordies to add my sentiment, which are from Creative Expressions, and then I also used some clear gems on here. I love doing clear gems on top of like variegated watercolory kind of designs because it kind of magnifies those little areas. I really love using them like that. So that is the card that I created in this video. So I will pass you over to Past Me to show you in sped up form exactly how to create this. And you've now got the verbal sort of instructions of how I did it, and now you can see the visual instructions of how I did it as well. So hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!